this week's podcast, I have a rant about steering wheel choices.
What are you doing? Are you 10?
Dan has a newfound love for EVs.
By making the exterior looks of the car more interesting.
And we're both being stalked by yellow Nissan Jukes.
So why am I seeing two of them every single time, at least two, sometimes three, every single time that I go out for a drive? Hello and welcome back to the Crossthreads podcast, the podcast where two mates
with very different levels of automotive knowledge
wax lyrical about cars amongst many other things. Now we thought we'd start off today with, as usual, an overview of our weeks.
Yep.
I'm going to go first this time and not be horrible to Dan because he hasn't prepared anything. I started a new job this week.
Oh yeah, you did.
I am officially a Domino's delivery driver.
Wow.
I can quite frankly say that it is probably, actually maybe I shouldn't say anything about it. Just in
Let's
case.
not.
It's a brilliant job. Let's move on. Well, no, I've got something to say about that actually. I hate the way that it affects my car because I'm someone who's got mechanical sympathy. I can't stand the fact that I'm starting my car probably 25 times in the space of like 4 hours. I can't stand that. So it's a little bit painful for me, but it is a very temporary fix, to be honest. It's just a little stopgap for me. I absolutely love it, though, in case my employers are watching. I very much doubt they are. For the record, I love it. Apart from that, I've been doing absolutely nothing this week, though. What about you?
I've been doing nothing. Move on to the next subject.
He doesn't have anything to say.
Ooh, that was nice.
Oh, okay. We're going to be very ADHD in this podcast, I would imagine, because we're parked in a lay-by again, which we quite enjoyed last time, so we thought we'd do it again.
Two boys in a lay-by, what could go wrong? It is daytime though, so
nothing
of that
dodgy
nature.
going on. This is your segment, actually.
What is the segment?
Yeah, I'll let you introduce it.
Oh, is it? It's the one that I said?
Yeah.
Right. Kicking it off with a bang, which EV cars tend to do.
Carry on.
So I was having a thought the other day, and there's been a lot of new electric cars that have came out recently. And as much as I don't really hate electric cars. It's a bit of a slippery slope with electric cars, but I don't think they have much personality. But I have found with the new cars that have came out, such as the new Jag, the new Renault Turbo
Yeah,
E.
the 5 GT that they brought out. Yeah, really cool car.
Is it a
love
Hyundai that has? Oh, speaking of devil as well, a Volkswagen electric camper.
ID Buzz, that was cool.
Yeah. Which is, I always get confused with this. There's that
Ioniq 5, but there's also a Vision N concept.
That Vision
That's
N,
the 70s inspired one.
And I feel like electric cars, they are making up for the lack of personality in the engine by making the exterior looks of the car more interesting.
I think that's a viable point. I think they do, you know, they're always like quite extravagant in terms of styling and like the bodywork, and it's probably is to try and appeal to that car enthusiast, but they don't have the engine, so they've got to do it in another way.
Yeah.
So I think it's plausible that that's what they do.
Which I think is a good way to go, because it's definitely lacking like the engine aspect and the fun. So it's sort of more like how people will stance shit cars. And it's not a car it's not a car that you drive fast in. It's like a car you drive to look cool. Yeah.
A Dacia Sandero.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, isn't it? It's like it's not cool in any way, but they've slammed it so it makes it cool.
Yeah. It's just it's something about it, and I feel like the way they are like making the cars, and it's that mix of retro with futuristic styling. GT86. Sexy.
Very nice.
With two big tailpipes. Yeah.
I think
That's all I
that's
wanted to say.
a very viable point about EVs. On the topic of interesting cars, I'm going to move swiftly away from that and talk about a car that is very boring. And it's possibly the worst car on UK roads today. It's, of course,
Fiesta ST.
the Nissan Juke.
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's not a Fiesta ST. I quite like those. I've just said that on camera. That's horrendous. But
Knock him off.
the Nissan Juke. So, a little bit of a backstory here. There's a bloke that some of you may know called Candy Showroom, or otherwise known as Mikhail Fidowicz. I've probably absolutely butchered his name. Very sorry, Mikhail. But he has a very well-known story about yellow Nissan Jukes in particular. And they are something that has haunted me for the last, like, however many months since I watched his video. He has a theory that yellow Nissan Jukes are stalking him.
Oh,
And
back
I
on
agree.
schizogram.
I think that yellow Nissan Jukes are indeed stalking myself as well, because every time I go for a drive, I will see at least 2 of them.
That is so true.
And do you know what makes this even more interesting that Mr. Candy Showroom researched himself? Is that of Nissan Jukes, there were 325,000 Nissan Jukes produced. Of the 3,900 that are for sale on Auto Trader today, or well, a few months ago I think it was, only 60 of them were yellow. You might see where I'm going with this. I tend to see a yellow Nissan Juke literally every time I go out. This means that we can work out that roughly less than 1% of cars on UK roads are Nissan Jukes. Not yellow ones, just Nissan Jukes. So you can extrapolate the figures, run some numbers. This means that roughly 0.014% of all cars on UK roads are yellow Nissan Jukes. So why am I seeing 2 of them every single time, at least 2, sometimes 3, every single time that I go out for a drive? It baffles me to this day.
I think maybe the same way that pigeons are government spy drones.
Maybe it's a conspiracy theory.
Yellow Dukes are also spy drones.
They must also be. Maybe we should just be a conspiracy theory podcast.
I think we should.
Maybe the yellow Nissan Jukes are just government vehicles that are tracking
Imagine the
us.
next Black Mirror episode is a yellow Duke.
It might well be.
And they just all come alive and start fucking...
But it's weird that since I've watched that video, I've began to notice them more. I think it's the same effect as, you know, when you buy a car, you see more of that car on the road because you're looking out for it. Maybe it's just a coincidence.
It's the same way as when you're in Minecraft and you want to find diamonds or you want to find like coal, and then you can never find it once you need it. But then once you go and find diamonds, you would always find coal, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's just how it is these days.
How have we ended up talking about Minecraft on a car podcast?
Autism.
I will never know. Let's move on to car news.
Oh.
Yes, we've got a very interesting and actually localised story this week.
Is it localised?
It is localised. Morgan, who you might know for producing those silly little freewheel cars that they used to produce.
Saw one in the last episode as well.
Yeah, we did actually.
Was that last episode?
It was last episode. It's been quite a while since we filmed last episode.
It hasn't came out yet. I'm editing that one.
It will be out by the time this goes out though.
Yeah, I need to get it finished.
Hopefully it will be out by the time this is out. But Morgan, local company based in Malvern. Did you know that? Is it? Yeah, based in Malvern.
Wow.
So I didn't know this actually until I watched Johnny Smith, The Late Break Show. I love that YouTube channel. Love his podcast as well, Smith and Sniff. He went to...
What a name.
I know, you need to look it up. It's a really good podcast. It's a car podcast, despite the name.
Nice.
Morgan are based in Malvern, and they've just revealed the Morgan Super Sport, which replaces the Plus 6. You know a little bit about this car.
It looks very cool.
It's very. We'll put a picture up, obviously, for you guys to see.
So what was it? An inline 6, 7-speed manual BMW engine sort of thing?
Close. You got some details, right? It is an inline 6.
Okay.
It is. So everything about this car is made in Malvern, by the way. Everything about it.
That's so, I didn't realise it was made in Malvern.
Hand built as well.
Aren't they all Morgan's hand built? Isn't
Yeah,
that like
all
a
of them are.
thing?
Yeah, all hand built. You're partly right on the engine. It's a BMW engine. It's a inline 6 turbocharged. It's a B58.
Nice. Yeah.
What comes in the M140i or 240i, etc., etc. It is a ZF 8-speed auto. It's not a manual.
8 speeds?
Did
I say manual?
I think they do a manual.
It'd be very cool. They need it in a manual.
It would be cool if they did a manual, but I think it's a ZF 8-speed auto, but you can get the 2-litre one as a manual.
Well, they do the M140i in a manual. Obviously, I swear they do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I think the M135i is a manual. I don't know. We'll fact check that and VAR it. But yeah,
We'll have a look.
We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. The BMW engine and gearbox is used, which I don't think is a bad thing because very good engine and gearbox combination. A lot of power, puts it down very well.
That was a V8 Land Rover.
Like a V8 Land Rover. Yeah, it was mad. It made a good sound.
It was very nice.
Crucially, 335 horsepower in a car that weighs 1,170 kilos.
Right, what is...
That is like...
Can you compare it to another car?
Mark II Clio weight.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's like... I
That's
think
fast.
I'm right there. That just over a kilo is like economy hatch weight.
That's very light.
Mental. 335 brake through the rear wheels in an 8-speed auto. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's a great design, which has also never changed.
No.
They've never changed the target audience that they go for. it's always been aimed at people who wear tweed suits and
Yeah.
flat caps, which is quite cool, really.
Ford, take note.
Ford take that. That's very true. Do you know what this car starts from in price? Have a,
Oh wait,
have a
is it
ballpark
70?
figure.
70,000?
It's a lot more than that.
Is it?
£102,000.
Jesus, is
That starts from no option.
Oh, okay, so
starts
that's like the
from-
lowest spec.
Yeah, on the road apparently from about 105.
Is that worth it? It's a cool car. It's a good engine.
I think the clientele that buy that sort of car have got 100.
I was about to say, like, you're not fucking
not gonna be
working
their
at
daily driver,
McDonald's
is it?
getting a fucking.
Yeah,
Oh, is it R8? Is that slams?
I don't know. I've
No,
seen
it's
that
just a
one
regular
before.
one.
It's got no. Has it got a badge on it? Oh no, that's not the one that I've seen. That's very cool. I love an
nice.
R8.
I do.
That is the new Morgan. That's a little bit of a brief overview.
What do you think of the Morgan?
That's very true. What do you guys think of the Morgan? Because I think it is, quite frankly, spectacular.
Yeah, and it's a breath of fresh air with how the car scene is at the moment. Also, have we got time? Because I wanted to speak
We've
about
got
this.
time, yeah.
I was going to say something, and I can't remember what I was going to say, but I think it was to do with Morgan. But there's not many cars these days in the past couple of years that have came out that have been different. I think like
Yeah.
the last car that was somewhat like a good bit of hype around it was the Yaris, not Yaris, the GT Corolla.
GR Corolla.
That's it, GR
Yeah, yeah,
Corolla.
yeah.
Had that.
Very cool. Do we have those in this country yet? I don't think we do have those in this country. I know that they're in America, but I've
Yeah.
not seen. I don't think they're in a UK car.
No,
I think they were US only, but which is a
we've
shame because I would love. That would be very
we've
cool.
got the Yaris, the GR Yaris.
Still want to drive those.
That'd be so
I would love to drive a
insane.
GR Yaris. They look so cool.
There was one on Instagram the other day that was like 600, 700 horsepower. It's a 3-cylinder car.
Yeah,
It makes no sense with anti-lag.
It was that was a GR Yaris. I think you sent it me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
insane.
Very cool car. But nowadays they don't really. It's very rare that we get a cool car.
Yeah,
or
there's-
cool car.
There's nothing cool anymore, and I feel like it's slowly going down the path of where cars are just going to come out and it's just not going to be interesting at all. And I saw a clip of Jeremy Clarkson talking about this back in 2009. I don't know if you saw it. He was driving an Aston Martin, and he was saying like he sort of just predicted how the car scene was going to go, and saying about because of all the wars and all this shit and shat that.
What are we even going on about anymore? I don't know. Jeremy Clarkson, very wise man. Though.
Yeah,
very
but
very
he
wise.
pretty
man.
much predicted that the downfall of cars and like
Genius.
everyone's going to be chasing like power figures rather than focusing on the personality of the car. And I feel like that's where it's pretty much gone.
I'd much rather a lightweight car with less power that
Yeah.
handles well than have this. I don't know, like a Golf R, for example. It's just doesn't appeal to me really.
And
It's just boring.
too many safety features, which obviously are good.
Good thing, yeah, definitely.
Driving a car with like minimal safety features and actually like feeling the drive on the road is just next level. And like bashing through gears, you got all the exhaust fumes, you've got the pops and the bangs, you're just feeling everything in that moment. And then, yeah, that's what I've got to say about that.
I think we're gonna. It's a good time to move on to the Facebook Marketplace section.
you like
That was
those?
a Megane RS. That was very cool.
Oh yeah.
Facebook Marketplace. I'm gonna let you. You're gonna
Yeah.
discuss the little change in format. that we're
We
having.
quickly changed the format of this. So before we did a rating scale out of 10, and we would rate each other's cars at the end.
On 6 categories,
yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
We want to speed this up now. So MG? No? Something.
Triumph?
Anyway.
I don't know.
So now we are doing a tier system, and we haven't really discussed it too well. So finales will be a bit botched for this episode, but there's going to be a tier system, and to get into like say there's a superior tier, a mid tier, and a shit. We do shit tier, and there'll be different thresholds to get into that tier. And we will rate the car the same as we did last time, but instead of doing out of 10, we'd do like meh
Out of 3.
out
wasn't
of
it?
3,
Yeah.
and then it'll be a point system rather than an average of everything. So we're going to make this quick, and we're going to get into it right now. Get to my car,
Sorry.
little bitch boy.
Whoa. Your car is
Scroll down.
here.
Has it got all of them? Yes. Go down one more.
What a car. I saw this one actually when I was looking.
Oh, has it got all of it?
Is this it?
Yes. Look at that.
Wow. Yeah.
Look at that.
160k miles.
It doesn't matter. Look at it.
160. No, I'm sorry. Hang on. Let's contextualize this. Volkswagen Mark IV Golf R32. Brilliant car. I can't fault it. 160k miles, and they're charging 15 grand.
But look at it.
What do you get for 15 grand?
This.
Yeah, but you can
Look
get these
how
cars for like
look-
6-7 grand.
Look how sick you're gonna look
It's
in
cool, but it's done 160k
that. Look
miles.
how good it looks.
I'm not with him on this.
Anyway,
I'm not with him.
how old's a Mark IV Golf R32? When did they come out?
Early 2000s.
Exactly.
My car is on 160k, but it's like it's a 2-litre diesel. This is a bloody
Just about maintenance, mate.
3.2.
Anyway, aside from that, looks-wise, insane.
It does look good. It's been tastefully
And
modified, and that's actually a correct use of
it's
that
actually-
phrase.
yeah,
I
look
don't
at those
usually
wheels
agree.
as well.
Those wheels are very cool.
It's there's
You
got
slowly
they got a
you're convincing
specification
me.
list.
What have we got here? I thought they were BBS wheels. Wider front wings, half cage, oh, so it's on air.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's so sick.
Custom steering wheel. It better not be one of those cuzzy like carbon fibre wheels, because that would ruin the whole car.
What do you mean
for me.
carbon fibre wheels?
When you
I
know
mean,
when
you
they
can
have
see-
the steering wheels,
no,
and
it's
they're
really
like
nice
carbon
inside.
fibre with the
Look at-
stupid lights on.
And look at the seats, Recaro bucket seats.
I haven't said enough about that. I'm having a little bit of a sidetrack moment. Those stupid steering wheels.
Oh, I know what you're on about.
With
the light up bits at the top.
bits at the top and the carbon fibre bottom. What are you doing? Are you 10? Like, genuinely, are you 10 years old? They don't look good in any
don't.
situation.
It
Just
looks-
use the stock wheel. It's
It
that
looks-
thing over
yeah.
there. Weird.
It looks like those shitty little Thrustmaster wheels
They
that you
look
got in the PC.
Awful. There are better looking sim racing wheels out there than your stupid M140i's. Little light up thing to tell you when to shift. You've got an automatic gearbox. Why do you need to be told when to shift? It's so stupid. Anyway, carry on with your car.
But Recaro seats, it's got the
Half cage.
Half cage.
Yeah. As if you're going to race that though. It's on air. You wouldn't race it.
Yeah, but it looks insane. The cage is just for pure cosmetics.
You've really frustrated me here because that's such a good car.
It's so nice.
But there are bits of it that I'm like, 15k for...
It's expensive, but think about how much he's probably spent on that car.
Yeah,
it
but-
probably is. Obviously, mods don't depreciate the value of the car.
That's another argument in itself. Do mods actually increase the value of the car? Probably.
Unfortunately not.
People would rather buy a standard car.
But it's not right.
I'd rather buy a standard car.
Because I bought my Fiesta and mods done to it, which I think is
They
good.
weren't too heavily modded,
No.
though. They were kind of quite cosmetic,
But
weren't
those
they?
wheels, unless they're reps, are like 5 grand.
They're probably reps. Wait, hang on. Didn't it say that they were reps? I by the way, nothing wrong with reps. It just says that they are BBS wheels.
So they're going
probably
to be
real.
expensive. Anyway, let's rate the car from what I've said. Let's just keep this simple today. Let's do out of like 3. We'll do how cool is it? We'll do value for money still, and
Rarity.
sure.
Okay. How cool factor.
10. That is fucking
What were we
sick.
rating out of 3?
Oh yeah, 3. 3 plus 5.
I agree. Okay.
It's gotta be 3.
I'll give you 3. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. 3. What was the next one? Value for money?
It's got to be like,
It's a 1.
yeah, it's got to be like 1.
It's a 1.
Unfortunately.
It's not good value for money because it's been modified. Someone else has had their little hands on that
I
car.
mean, it looks like he's done a great job. Like he's probably done a great job.
Looks like
but-
it, but you never know.
I think you can. It looks nice.
Looks can be deceiving.
But
What?
yeah, for
Yeah?
15 grand, that is a lot for. Obviously, there's probably a lot put into it, but yeah, no. Next, what was the last one? Uniqueness,
Rarity.
rarity.
They're quite rare now.
Yeah, especially
That
those
Mark
ones.
IV R32, yeah, decently rare.
So 3.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. So that's 7 total.
I think it'd be 5 because it's 2 points because it's over. Like you do 0.
Cut to Dan in the editing suite having an absolute nightmare trying to sort this section out because we're so baffled by the whole thing.
Anyway, let's just say 5 for now.
Point of the story is it's a cool car
Yeah.
that is maybe a bit too expensive.
Yeah, very
I would
nice
say.
though. Like I had some other cars and that just That's perfectly done.
Speaking of cool cars that are maybe a little bit too expensive, my car, similarly, we've actually chosen very similar cars.
Yeah.
Both of them are four-wheel drive. Both of them are really, really cool and quite rare. But the only difference is that mine is a Japanese car. They're very similar price as well. We've not done this on purpose. We don't talk about what car we've had.
Did you find this last minute as well?
Literally this morning,
Wow.
yeah. My car is a 1999 Subaru Impreza STI RA Limited 555 edition. Why do they make their names so long? I don't understand it. They're all so long.
This is why I can't get into more knowledgeable about cars, because there's shit like this. RA Limited 55, no.
I would never have known that by looking at that car. I knew it was a Subaru Impreza STI. I knew it was limited edition of some sort. I didn't have a clue apart from that. Some close little stats for you, sorry. About 280 brake horsepower.
That is
pretty good.
Fat.
You know, quite good. It's probably about similar to your Golf, actually.
Probably around
260,
that. Yeah.
It's got a close ratio gearbox, meaning, what does a close ratio gearbox mean?
I'm guessing it's a short throw, or like between revs.
So it means that if I get this wrong, I'm going to be absolutely tortured. I think that a close ratio gearbox is when a car is, it basically makes a car more like quicker accelerating.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Essentially, like faster to 60, but the top speed will be lower.
Yeah. I mean, it's how rally boxes are set up. Oh, there's another one of those Alfa Romeos. I don't know which ones they're called, but they're.
Is it a 4C? It looks like a 4C.
Oh.
Sounded brilliant. This Subaru also has lots of rally parts. It's got some carbon fibre. This was just from me doing a little quick 5 minutes of research about this car because I didn't know much about the limited edition. It is, the seller has also put some stats in here. 12 months MOT. It's got a good alarm on it, which is always good. Blue limited seats. It's had a recent... Oh, for God's sake. And it popped as well. That was a Mark 7 Fiesta. It wasn't an ST. I think it was an EcoBoost.
With a Hornet exhaust on it.
Can we just have a moment of silence for that?
Moment of silence for the kids that have
Just a moment of reflection.
I mean, you can't say anything. You did have a Hornet on a Clio.
Yeah, but not on my Fiesta.
That's true. Oh.
330 Ci.
Right, back to it. We were going to have 5 minutes for this bit.
We've already gone over. But my Subaru is very cool. It was imported in 2009. It's had 2 previous UK owners. Bunch of white line parts on it, which is very cool. Remap as well, so it's not 280, it's more than that. Apparently it could do with some paint to be mint, but what a beautiful piece of Japanese kit this car is.
Right,
just
to get this over with, I would go 3 across the boards.
Really?
I think for how expensive Subarus are, and this having 60k miles, it's an actual alright price for a Subaru.
So you think my car's better than yours, is that what we're saying?
I wouldn't say looks-wise, but it's still a cool looking car.
I'll take
So
that.
just to get this out of the way, I'd say across all boards.
Dan's fed up and wants to move on.
No, but it's got the quick rally gears, it's remapped over 280, and they sound fucking insane.
And it's had a bottom end rebuild. So you've just got to worry about your head gasket.
I mean, common worry on the
Fine.
Subaru.
It probably has never had its spark plugs changed either, because on these engines the spark plugs are underneath and in the middle.
Never do that in front of me again.
Well, no, it is. It's underneath and in the middle. You're making it weird. It's because what engine is this?
Are you asking?
I'll give you. It's a 4-cylinder.
Is it flat? Because they're like the.
Not a flat 4, because that's a Porsche. It's a slightly different thing.
You've said about this, didn't you? Is it the ones where it's like this?
Yeah, they're
opposite
like,
ways.
So
What's
the
that
pistons
called?
literally just go like this against
What's
each
that
other.
called?
It's a Boxer.
Oh, okay.
A Boxer engine with a turbo charger. That's Facebook Marketplace section over, because Dan's itching to move on because he's fed up of this section being longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah,
It's probably
it was
about
very
8.
long last time. Anyway, next. What's the next thing we're talking about?
This is something that maybe makes me a bad person. I might be going to hell for doing this. I'm very sorry to all of my family that are watching. One of my favourite pastimes is is abusing Teslas.
Fair enough.
It sounds weird on the face of it.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil. Let me at it. Hold me back. Pulling out on Teslas and abusing their auto brake features is one of my favourite pastimes in the whole wide world. I live to do it. It is amazing. The other day, short little anecdote, a Tesla was tailgating me. I was on the way to university, going down a dual carriageway, which is a 50-mile-an-hour limited one, actually. This Tesla was tailgating me for probably about a mile. When I say tailgating, I couldn't see his front lights. He was that close to my derriere, as the French say, my behind. When it tried to overtake, I had a little big brain play. I pulled out, and the car instantly slammed its brakes on because it's got the auto brake feature, so it didn't want its driver to be injured, which is an awful shame because I would have loved for Mr. whatever his name was to be injured in this scenario. But the resulting thing that happened was funnier because his car slammed on its brakes. It was embarrassing for him. It was mortifying to watch because he was so annoyed, and he then continued to tailgate me. I let him pass. He went on his merry day doing 60 miles an hour in the 50 zone. What do you think of that? Do you think I'm a bad person?
I think this is great. If it was any other car brand or person, I would probably disagree with you. I hate people that when you go past them in the national zone and they just speed up. That could be another pet peeve. But because it's a Tesla driver,
before, haven't I?
yeah,
I talked about merging and doing.
Yeah,
that,
this is different. But yeah, especially just people that tailgate you. Well, there's no need to be that close.
It is.
It makes it harder to overtake as well when you're that close. You need a bit of a run up to go around.
And you can't see anything. All he could see was my dirty number plate.
Yeah.
That's all he could see. And he was probably getting covered in diesel fumes because something that happened the other day to me as well was I booted it in second in my car. I don't usually take my car above 2,500 revs because it's a diesel, there's no point. I went to 4,000 revs. The resulting, I haven't told you about this, what happened was there was a convertible behind me with two older ladies in it with the roof down. I looked in my rear view mirror and there was just a cloud of black smoke. I could not see a convertible Beetle. It was a convertible Beetle.
Is it that bad?
It was bad. I went to 4,500 revs and my car just went and just like coughed everywhere.
Bro did a regen.
Honestly, it was like those stupid Fabias with like the coal maps on them where they go bah, 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 and they were like popcorn limiters. It was awful. I just looked back and there was just a huge plume of like black smoke, which the Tesla driver was probably getting as well because my car is very bad on emissions.
Hopefully it was a white Tesla as well.
It wasn't, it was grey. By the time I was finished with it, it was grey.
It was
white, it's now grey. But yeah, I thought that was a funny little story to tell you because my nickname is the Tesla Abuser. Moving swiftly on to Dan's quiz. Way!
Flying time, it's 28 minutes.
We're flying through this today.
We are.
That means we've got more time for your quiz because you're going to need more time because it is a very difficult quiz.
Nice.
Just to introduce this section for viewers that might not have watched before, my co-host Dan, with his maraca. Is that maraca?
Let's just.
God, this is so like, this defines our podcast.
This man did.
My co-host Dan likes his cars, but isn't as far along the car knowledge spectrum as I am. I've therefore made it my mission to train him up and try and exercise what is between his ears. Not a lot. Anyway, train him up by quizzing him each week on cars he should really know. Now, this week, we've slightly changed the format again. We're full of changes this week. I'm going to play Dan a little sound clip of said car. If he can guess the car from it, fair play to him, because I think he's going to struggle. It is a car that you should know, but I don't know if you're going to know it from engine noise alone. Yes.
Okay.
So, if you can even just guess how many cylinders it has, I'd be very impressed.
Okay.
Let me turn my volume up for this and let's play the sound. We'll play it for you guys. Wait, it'll rev in a second.
So, it's got turbos.
Has it?
It's got turbo.
Has it?
It's got to have a turbo.
That's weird.
So it doesn't.
That's weird. I don't know.
No, you gotta help me decipher what it is.
I haven't got to help you with anything. That's your car sound. I've got your quiz open here, which I'm just going to turn towards myself because you might be able to see a clue. That was Dan's sound bite. Do you have any inkling at all? Do you want to try and guess the number of cylinders? I can do higher and lower for you.
I want to go with V10.
He's right. It is a V10.
Is it an R8?
Whoa! He's got it! For God's sake.
Are they twin turbo as well? Or are they
so,
single turbo?
Oh wait, no. Turbo.
Some are turbo, some aren't. I think the R8s are turbo and the V10s aren't. Did I say R8? V8s are turbos, the V10s aren't. I'm pretty sure they are.
Are they?
I think so.
I don't think they are.
I think they are. Look it up. Have you got a signal?
I haven't got a signal.
I'm pretty sure the V8s are turbo because I follow a guy on Instagram who has one, and he was either deciding between a V10 or a V8.
I'm gonna hop in here and say that they aren't. Neither of them are turbo.
No,
they're not, because people do turbo the V10s. So that's the same V10 that they use in the Lambo. The V8s aren't either. The V8s make way less power. The V10s are 562 brake, 5.2 litre V10. There's VAR in it right now. He's going to find out that there are no turbos on an R8.
I don't have my hotspot on, I don't think, so I'm not going to do it.
I'm going to, just whilst Dan's trying to prove me wrong, clue number one that I had after the soundbite was that this car utilises a 5.2 litre V10, which you correctly guessed, to produce 562 horsepower. It was available in rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models.
Would have got that, mate.
Clue number two, I'm interested to know, this car was Tony Stark's, Iron Man's, car in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Was it?
Would you have known that?
No. I watched that as well, but I didn't realise he had one in there.
And the third clue was really generous, which was the manufacturer of this car is in the Volkswagen Audi group.
Yeah, I probably already got it.
Do you want me to try and get a signal just to, because we've got a bit of time. We've only just ticked over half an hour. So
I'm
do you know what,
pretty
mate?
sure
I'm going to connect to my hotspot.
They have a turbo. I don't think the V8 is NA.
This is going to be a horrific moment for me if it has got a turbo.
Beg.
Audi
We're going to be quick. If this doesn't work, I've got a quiz for you.
Does it have a turbo?
Turbo.
Turbo. No, the standard Audi R8 does not have a turbocharger. It features a naturally aspirated 5.2 litre V10.
Find the V8 though.
So you can get it, which makes it 1,000 wheel horsepower.
Have you found? Can you find the V8 one though?
Audi R8 V8. Does it have a turbo? Naturally aspirated 4.2 litre engine. Same engine which is in the RS4. RS4? Yeah, it is RS4. It's the one, actually, that leads me on nicely to a little side thing because we've got time.
Side quest.
Jeremy Clarkson in a Scandi Flick, the Grand Tour Special, drove an Audi RS4. I'm doubting myself now. It was an RS4 with a 4.2 litre V8 engine, which he named as one of the 3 best engines of all time. That's where he puts it.
Sounds lovely.
I think the other engine was an Alfa V6.
Did we review an RS4 at North Loop?
It was an S4.
Was it?
Oh, no, yeah, sorry.
The grey one.
The convertible one.
Yeah,
RS4 convertible.
Yeah.
RS4 convertible? No, wait, hang on.
Was it an RS3?
RS4 convertible. Or was that an S5?
Oh, no, I swear it was an RS something.
No, it was, yeah, RS4 convertible.
Okay, cool.
That one was a Miltech catback.
Yeah, that
was ridiculous. If we can find the sound clip,
I might put it
here somewhere. We'll see if we can be bothered. We'll see if Dan can be bothered because he edits the podcast. So yeah, Dan's quiz went really well for him because again, I need to make these questions harder.
I feel like I'm quite good with certain engines. Like I said, I can guess if it's the forced induction.
That's quite an iconic.
I can guess if it's how many cylinders it has. Anything after that, like litre wise, that's like actually getting into the knowledge of engines, which I do not know.
Numbers and statistics.
Same with cars.
And such.
I can give you the brands, I can give you like certain little bits, but once it gets into like the actual ins and outs of it, I'm just no point.
Have you got a quiz for me, did you say? Or is it you?
If I got it correct, I was going to give you a quiz. I can maybe think of one, but it's going to be really basic, and I will probably get it wrong myself.
We've got time for one question. Go on.
Well, okay, instead of a... Okay, I'm going to get you to name me...
What is he doing over there? I don't know. There's a farmer in our field, in his field next to us, which is just shooting stuff, I think.
I'm going to say...
Put him on the spot here quite a bit.
Name me...
Jesus.
Oh, that sounded good.
Sounded very nice. He was flying. That was
Yeah.
like 90 mile an hour.
I'm really struggling here. I just want to...
Do you want to prepare it for next time?
Just give me... I want to have 5 cars. Name me 5 cars with make and model with a V10 and a turbo.
V10 and a turbo?
Okay, just do V10.
Just V10,
Yeah.
okay. Lexus LFA,
Okay.
Audi R8 V10,
Yeah.
Lamborghini Huracan.
Okay.
That's 3. V10, V10, V10.
I've got one.
Have you got one that I haven't thought of?
Yeah. You
That's
will get
3
it.
of
I'm
them.
going to be surprised if you don't get some of these.
There is the V10. See, what I'm going to defend myself with here is that I don't really care about supercars that much.
But I think there's a car which isn't a supercar that you're missing. Maybe.
Isn't there a Gordon Murray's car? I think that's a V10.
Gordon Murray.
Gordon Murray's
No,
car, I'm sure. So I'm going to put that as a provisional 4th because I think that's got a V10. It's a very small displacement V10.
Okay.
Revs really high. Flipping out, V10, V10, V10. I'm thinking for all of the. I've said a Lambo already, so I'm trying to go different.
Isn't there another car in the Volkswagen Audi group? That's a very common car, but has a very different engine.
That could well be.
Isn't there?
Oh no.
Isn't there a Audi with one, or a that I'm
Yeah,
thinking
the
of?
R8.
No, there's another. I swear, there's another estate Audi that has one. I might be thinking the wrong one.
No, I think you're right. Is it an S6?
I think
It
so.
is, isn't it?
There's
I think an
there's
S6.
there's a girl on Instagram that has one.
Yes,
But-
Mint likes cars.
Ah.
V10 S.
Yeah.
You're right. There you go. That's 5. I want to think of another.
Is that 5? I thought that was 4.
That's 5. Yeah, with Gordon Murray's car there, that is 5. I'm sure his car has got a V10 in it. It's like a really small V10.
I think there should be some Ferraris with a V10. I just don't know what.
Quite possibly. Although I think Ferrari usually go for more V6, V8, V12.
Yeah.
I don't think they use. I could be so wrong there. I could have. Aaron's probably watching this right now. Aaron's going to message me and be like, "You
screaming.
missed this one. You missed this one." He's probably screaming right now at the screen. I think this is a good time to wrap up actually because we've rambled for.
Remember always to
30
wrap up as well because there's a lot
minutes.
of diseases out there and you don't want to catch any of them.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, let's just end it.
Let's end this here. If
38 minutes. Cooked.
one thing that I'm going to say is that if you've got an interesting car, like I always say in every single episode, please feel free to write into the show, crossedthreads@hotmail.com, or you can message us on our socials.
Yeah.
You could message me on my account. You can go to Car Shooter Dan. You can go to the Crossthreads account. I don't mind what you do, but if you've got an interesting car and you want us to film it, please let us know. And like this video, subscribe, comment down below some hate for him or me. Who cares? Get your maracas and shake them along. On that note, we're going to end this here. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. See you next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.